there! Welcome to my channel! In this video, we are going to evaluate Gaming. There has been a lot of hype around this new 4-star character. It is said that he could be the best 4-star DPS character in the game. Is it true? So let's do a quick pre-release analysis of his DPS potential. First, let's take a quick look into his kit. Clein think we can skip his basic attacks because there is nothing special there beyond his smooth and cool animation. Now, his elemental skill. Gaming elemental skill allows him to pounce forward and leaping high into the air after coming into contact with an enemy to perform special plunging attack. This plunging attack is converted to pyro and cannot be overridden by other elemental infusions. His initial pounce does not deal any damage and does not apply pyro to the enemy. This is interesting. It means weapon effects that is based on hitting elemental skill may not work on him. Clein will test this out again once we got our hands on him. One other mechanic with Gaming elemental skill is, upon landing in his special plunging attack, Gaming will consume a 15% of his HP. Gaming also has a talent which allows him to regain 7.5% HP over time after hitting enemy with his special plunging attack. This allows him to use Marechaussee Hunter artifact set. Although the 2-set bonus doesn't benefit him, this artifact set would still be one of his best options. Now, his ultimate, Gaming ultimate, does multiple things. First, it briefly applies pyro to Gaming. This would enable new mechanics introduced in the new BP Claymore weapon. Talking stick, interesting. Second, it recovers 30% HP to Gaming. Third, it deals initial pyro damage to enemies. The multiplier of this damage is considered high for a pyro 4-star character. And lastly, the most interesting part. His ultimate allows Gaming to refresh his elemental skill cooldown every time Manchai links up with him. He can keep doing this as long as he has over 50% HP and within the 12's duration of his ultimate. So we can safely assume he can perform special plunging attack at least 5 times during this time. Now, let's calculate his damage potential. For this damage calculation, let's assume he is using the F2P cardboard weapon, Ultimate Overlord's Mega Magic Sword. As a 4-star character, Gaming has a very high base attack. This makes weapon like Cardboard Claymore good for him. And let's assume he is using Marechaussee Hunter artifact set. He is at level 90, talent level 999. Let's test his C0 damage potential in one of his best team as a hyper carry, Melt Team. The team consists of Gaming, Bennett, Kazuha, and Rosaria. But before going into Gaming's damage potential, we need to do a quick simulation. Because Gaming is not released yet, let's test using Yanfei. We will fight against the gravity boss, and we want to measure a couple of things. First, how many of her kit triggers Melt Reaction by conditioning her delay between plunging attack to be as close as possible to Gaming from the teaser video. Second, how many of her kit is buffed by the teammates? Okay, from this video, we can see Yanfei's elemental skill does melt. Her first and second plunging attack melts as well. Her third plunging attack does melt, however it seems like Kazuha's buff has worn out. Her fourth plunging attack does melt, however Bennett's buff has worn out. Her fifth plunging attack does melt as well. Now that we know the conditions, we can calculate Gaming's damage. In this melt team, Gaming is on EM Sands, Pyro Damage Goblet, and Crit Circlet. Let's assume Kazuha has 700 EM. Bennett is C5 using 4-star F2P weapon. On average, Gaming ultimate deals 175k damage. His full buff melt plunge attack deals 120k damage on average. His melt plunge attack without Kazuha's buff deals 86k damage on average. His melt plunge attack without Bennett's buff deals 57k damage on average. So, his average total damage output per rotation is 615k damage, which is quite high for a 4-star character hyper carry. But not quite the level of a 5-star character, though. However, Gaming's Constellations takes his damage a lot further. With him at C6, his total damage output per rotation becomes 1 million damage, which is even better than a standard C0 5-star DPS character. Wow! I am impressed. Aside from melt teams, Ga-Ming is also good in Vaporized team with Furina, but I am not going to cover it in this video. His performance with Furina is slightly lower, but because Furina deals a lot of DPS herself, the total team DPS in that team is comparable to his Melt team. He can also be used in Monopyro team, but Clein don't think it is good enough unless you have C6. And that's it, guys. Our new 4-star character Ga-Ming does indeed exceed my expectations. Clein can't wait to get his hands on him. I wish you all the best with your pulls. See you on the next video. Bye-bye.